I wouldn't discriminate because what is a colour? Just because he's a black boy, what, he must be a drug dealer? That's not true.
Hi, my name is Camille Porter.
My name's Aaron White.
My name is Jacob Jones, and I am currently 30 right now.
I'm 24.
37. I got over like 37 convictions based between drug offences, firearms, burglary.
Supplying Class A and firearms.
I was doing burglaries, robberies.
I'm fully reformed now from 2018.
What would you say has been the most challenging thing you've had to deal with since leaving prison?
Coming off the roads, getting a job and just staying out of trouble. It's been a hard process, yeah.
The hardest bit was getting back into the community. It's coming out of jail and not going back into that same cycle that I was in.
More like getting into the work industry, because it's like I've never worked, never had proper qualifications like that. So it's been a bit tough to like get into jobs. It has been hard.
What is the main reason that you were going back?
Poverty, isn't it? Like, obviously, I kept going back to jail because there was nothing there on the table for me. There was no help, so I had to sell drugs in order to survive, to pay my rent, to feed myself, to even look after my sons. I had to commit crime, so that's what led me keep going back to prison.
I'm a mentor now, and to be honest, the kids that are getting into trouble today in 2021 and 22, they have way more support than I did when in my generation. For me, I didn't have all of that, so that's one of the reasons why I kind of went back.
Nothing to do with no support out there. It was within myself. If I didn't want to change within myself, I'd be still doing the same old rubbish. You feel me?
From the age of 16, I ain't been living at home with my parents. I've always been like living in hostels, sofa surfing with friends, being in different houses where I'm just always continuously selling like drugs. It's been tough, so it's like I haven't had no like family member, and then from like the age of 17, my mum passed away. So it's like that's more what got me more angry with life. So it's like I just didn't care about nothing, didn't care about no one, doing what I had to do to make money, so I survived.
How helpful was the support given to you after your release from prison?
There weren't no support.
There wasn't really support like that.
I didn't have no support when I came out of jail. It wasn't really that supportive. It definitely did affect me mentally. I don't know, I was paranoid a lot.
I've never had no real support from like probation where they understand me, plus I've had mental health to deal with as well. Even then, when I was seeing psychiatrists, I never had no real government support, to be honest. Yeah, I've never had that.
Alright, this time coming out of jail, I chose myself. I wanted to change. They shouldn't care.
They're not really caring if someone ain't got no family. They're not caring if someone's grew up by themselves or lived by themselves. They're not caring if someone's got mental health.
A single black male is not a priority, and that's what the council used to say to me. When I commit crime and I go to jail, I'm a priority. And then when I come out, I'm just left to commit the same cycles. So what do?
How were your personal relationships affected?
Well, it's affected very much.
I wanted a family because I had been kicked out of my house. I was still hurt and I was on the road. I didn't know what love meant. I didn't even love myself.
Because in jail, you can't really have a proper relationship. You see your partner on a visit or your kids on a visit, and that's it. So it killed our bond. It was just the bond behind the jail.
Going through that, it's nothing that no partner is born to think this is normal. Having to know that I might have to do 10 years behind the door, getting emotional, having to see me, it's stressful. Like, you don't realise how much it affects other people's life.
How did you go about the process of finding housing?
The first couple of times it was hard.
Because I moved to Birmingham first, it was easier to get housed. Once in Birmingham, like there's loads of landlords that do like HMOs, and basically I was on benefits, so it was easy for me to get a room. The job centre would cover it, and then once I came back to London, I become homeless again, and it wasn't so easy to get a HMO because there's hardly any HMOs in London.
I went to the council, so I gave them the letters and everything. They put me in a bed and breakfast for 2 weeks and then said I didn't fit the criteria. They left me in the place for 2 weeks, and then I was homeless after that. That's when I said, you know what, I need help now. Nobody ain't help me, so what am I supposed to do? So I just said, you know what, game over, and I just stayed on the road.
my probation, she really didn't want me to come out. She wanted me to stay in prison. They said I wasn't allowed to stay at no hostel or anything. No one actually showed me how to get like a council flat or how to apply for it.
Like, they wouldn't do nothing for me, so I had to rent places, and in order to rent places, I had to obviously sell drugs to pay for the rent. So it was a catch-22 for me.
The rules that they gave me when I came out was very strict. It's just more frustration, more anger. Like, my life is so controlled. Like, I didn't have no control of nothing.
When I was looking at landlords and going to meeting them over the phone, they was talking to me cool. When they saw me face to face, it was like, not you. Like, the way my probation officer looked me up and down and that, I could have got mad. Like, what are you doing? Like, the way you're dealing with me and talking to me, like, I can see you're discriminating. People look at you and push up their face and like, why? Why are you doing this? What? I'm a criminal because I've just come out of jail. Like, they tried to violate me. They did everything in their powers to make me want to say, yo, fuck this. Like, they did everything to wind me up, but like, I just took it. I had to sign on 3 times a day, like, and have a curfew at 7 o'clock.
How and after how long did you find employment?
I started my own employment, to be honest. First, I started cooking from home, selling it to everyone in my community. And then I met somebody that I was with in prison. He started doing a mentoring course, and he brought me in basically, and now I'm a mentor as well.
I'd say about a year and a half until it took me to get into a solid job. It was very hard for me because I was in a probation hostel. I had to like stick with their rules. Looking for a job, I just felt like claustrophobic from being in that environment.
Did you tell your employer about your convictions?
I told them that they wasn't really keen on having me stay with them. Like, even I was honest, they didn't really want to listen to that. They didn't give me no chance, even when they saw that I was a nice person. I wasn't aggressive with no one, but they still didn't want to give me that chance. So I feel like from I put I'm black British and I've got convictions, it's like they'll never get back to me.
Do you feel like if you had employment available to you, you would have gone with that?
Yeah, 100%. 100% I would have gone for it. But if I didn't believe that I'd get a job because of my criminal record, so that wasn't even an option for me. I had to prove to people that, you know, that I was treated like a madman.
If you were in charge of helping ex-prisoners readjust into society, what would you change?
I would change DBS checks. I would still do a DBS check. That's not for me to judge them. It's just for me to understand of what they've done and can I help them? How can I work around their character? If they've got aggressive issues, then I'll understand how to approach them better. You've got to give someone a chance. There are people with no criminal background, they still do bad things. It's just they ain't been caught for it yet. So it's like, you can't just judge someone on a DBS check. It don't make sense.
It all comes down to resettlement into the community. So I'd focus on housing for them. That's firstly, housing, jobs, and emotional resilience, trying to make them understand themselves.
I will give NLP training to all of the kids around the prisons, and I will rewire their way of thinking. They're not mad. They're not different. All it is the opportunities. That's what I think the problem is having more proper training.
Being a convict, it makes things a lot more harder. Even if people don't even know you're a convict, I still get treated a bit different. If I'm in a certain area and police see me, they'll want to pull me over, they'll want to stop me, find out what I'm doing.
It's stop and searching. They got that face, innit? Like, when they see you, it's like, okay, here's another black kid, here's another. You know what I'm saying to you?
All they care about is, if you're going to engage with us, then we'll help you. If you disengage, we're not going to help you. But some people have general problems why they can't engage because they're not used to that world of engaging. And that's why I feel like they never even wanted to help me. They try and aggravate you. I could say one little word and they'll be like, it's being aggressive.
Like, there's less opportunities for black people. We know this, it's in our face, but at the end of the day, like, what can men do? You understand? Like, the government don't give a fuck. I don't care. They could have done something many years ago. Like,
I was a young black man, and being from London and being from an area where it's lonely with gangs in it, and because of my convictions, they just paint their own big picture of he's involved in gang, there's no hope for him. Even if he says he wants to try, they won't believe me because they're already painting their picture that this is the person I am. Even though they got no proof of me being in gangs, probation always say I'm in gangs, I'm in gang activity, and that's only because I'm from London, and that's only because I'm a black man.